Southern Police Commission, and it's been changed to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Could I have an approval of the agenda, but before we approve it, there's two additions. Scam Senior Constable Vanderbilt brought forward, and Paige Clark is going to speak on it, and 4B would be citizens' concerns. I'm sorry, citizens' representations, vacancies. So can I have approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Moved by Commissioner Terrace, seconded by Commissioner Atkinson. You've all heard the motion. Question? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Approval of minutes. Have a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
And I'll second that motion.
Moved by Commissioner Campbell, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. You've all heard the motion. Ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Business arising. Is there any business arising that we want to speak on, or I think we're going to speak later on the computer, Donna? We got that on there. Okay. Is there any business arising? Okay, we'll move on to number 4, which is monthly activity reports. Monthly activity reports. Is there any question of the police chief or Inspector Pond on the activity reports?
I see our numbers are creeping back up again. They were 132, and they're sneaking back up to 168 there. Anything in particular that comes to mind, or why that is?
Not that I could see. There was, there wasn't a drastic reduction, a drastic increase in any of the particular offenses. I think there's just a few more of each, really. Nothing stands out.
All right, thank you.
I have a question. Chief, what would criminal harassment be? Like, on the first page there, it's called criminal harassment. What would that be to be charged with that?
Yeah, it depends on what somebody's doing. It could be repeated phone calls. It could be not stalking. It falls short of stalking. It's just basically, it's more than harassment and less than stalking, if that makes any sense. But it's harassment over a period of time. I don't know the specifics to this particular file.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
No, I don't want to really know. I was just trying to find out what
it was.
cause, yeah.
Yeah.
I move that we accept the report as read.
I second it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner Atkinson, that we accept the activity report. All heard the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried. The other thing I mentioned to you, Chief, the Speedway is opened up on Poplar Street again since the snow is gone. Yeah, just trying to see how fast they can go from stop sign to stop sign.
It seems to be more.
Yeah, in all the years I've lived there, I haven't witnessed. Of course, it only takes 1 or 2 people, I guess, and there is a couple of small cars. I know this is one guy in particular. I didn't get his license plate, but I come around the roundabout the other day, and as I come around, he come down from Sobeys area. He didn't even stop. He went around that roundabout and made a right down street, and I went up through Ford and around, and when I got down at Acadia and Maple, he came bombing down around there, and he didn't stop. He just right at the stop sign in front of me down the road, and Brian and I were going down the same guy the other day, so there's a few crazies out there. Okay, moving on. Okay, there's I got an email today from Susan and Paige rather, and it's in reference to scams for seniors. Constable Vandergriff, he brought a good plan forward, which I think he should be commended, and it's something that we all experience. I know every Thursday morning, it stopped lately, maybe knock on wood. I would get a phone call at 7 o'clock in the morning that tell me that somebody infiltrated my credit cards and so forth and so on. So there's a lot of scams out there. I remember years ago, my mom, they would call, I'd say to her, listen, I said, just hang up on them. Oh, she said, I don't want to be rude. And this is what they play on the seniors, is they're brought up not to be rude, and they don't want to do that. So I'm going to leave Paige Clark introduce the program that I think it's a great program, a great idea, and I really, we have to thank Constable Vandergrift for bringing this forward. You're on.
Yeah, so yesterday, Constable Vandergrift approached the chief as well as myself about scam education, specifically towards seniors, as they're typically some of the hardest hit when it comes to scams. He explained that they're ever-changing and they're getting harder and harder to identify if it's real or not. So he was hoping that we could put together some form of campaign. And so what we chatted about and what we're looking at putting together would be a hard copy, either pamphlet or brochure of some sort for seniors complexes to be able to put into local businesses for people to take if they stop in, that would have information about these sorts of scams, how you can protect yourself, or what you can do if you find yourself in that situation. A second option, or in addition to that, would be a social media and web campaign. Not everyone has social media accounts. A lot of people don't even use the internet. But for those people that do, we felt it was important to have that information available on social media as well as permanently on our town website. And then what he mentioned would typically happen is that he would schedule days and times where he could do a physical presentation where people could come and ask questions. And obviously with COVID-19 restrictions, that's not really in our wheelhouse right now. So we discussed the potential to have a live stream, whether it's with our YouTube channel or another method in which we would promote that ahead of time, and residents would be able to ask questions, in advance, so that when he does this presentation, he could then respond to those questions and really get those answers that people are looking for, because obviously he can't answer everything without knowing what people aren't aware of. So that's our plan. He's absolutely leading the research and the informative part, and I'll work with him to make sure that it's ready and friendly for people to have that information and to better protect themselves.
So, the Paige, yourself, and Constable Vandergrift you're going to help with the promote, I guess, the communications part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The one question is, would there be a telephone number for seniors to call? Is there some place that they can call, like if they're,
I mean,
like I just call the town hall and ask the clerk if I get stuff, yeah, but.
Typically, if you call 211, that's more of a service for people in Nova Scotia, and they can certainly call them just to see if there's something.
So that could go on the brochure, the information, put it there. It didn't maybe concur with 211 and just tell them you're doing it, so they would be aware.
Yeah, and there might be other resources. I think the government of Canada has a scam or fraud resource as well, so that's definitely something that we'll look at putting with that information.
No, that sounds great, and I applaud. Somebody knocked me out. That sounds great, and I applaud Constable Vandergrift for coming forward with that, because it is serious. I know there's a lot of, I shouldn't say this, but I got scammed at $300 myself. I got my computer locked up and ended up I had to pay somebody to unlock it and so forth and so on a number of years ago. And they caught me in a bad time. It was early in the morning. I just got up and, oh my God, do this, do that, and caught me, and I was just new in it. But that's great. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Is there any questions from anybody?
Well, I think I might be able to help a little, if you guys are interested. I do the presentations for Crime Stoppers Nova Scotia related to this. So don't have to reinvent the wheel either.
Absolutely.
So I do have a number of sources, so if you guys would like me to join one of your meetings there and bounce a few things of what I already have that you may be able to use.
Perfect.
Just on that, what I do with it, when I get one of them calls, I time them. I try to see how long I keep them on there. I don't try to, but I speak in the foreign language. The only two words they understand is yes and no. And they're on there, and they think they got somebody, and then the longest I got so far is 45 minutes. But they don't call back.
So, Nancy's over here. Nancy, I think one of the problems is going to be getting distributing it up in your area there. Maybe you can help Paige with tell her how to get the pamphlets out there, because not everybody is computer literate. I know I have, I'm kind of at the bottom when it comes to computers, but there's some people that have issues with it, and they don't have computers, and like the hard copy certainly would be the answer to that. And
And I will help you with that in my unit, yeah.
yeah, okay, good, thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Any more questions? Thank you, Paige. Citizen vacancy is our next one, and that would be 4B.
Yes, so as per town policy, representatives that sit on town committees, such as the police commission, their terms are for 3 years. After the first 3 years, they have an option, if they wish to continue, that they can continue for the second term. After such second term, it has to go in the paper for advertisement to see if there's anybody interested. If there is no applications that come forth and the person is still interested to continue, they can continue. But as per policy, we have to advertise after 2 terms.
So Commissioner Taylor, you're still interested in nobody applies?
I am.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, correspondence, letter from Chief Chiquetto.
Do you want me to take this, or? Yeah, okay. So on March 18th, 2020, well, I guess that's supposed to be 2021. I guess Nova Scotia makes mistakes too. Anyway, Executive Director of the Department of Justice, David McLean, had written Chief Cichetto. She is the president of the Nova Scotia Associations of Chiefs of Police. So it says, this letter is in response to your correspondence dated January 25th, 2021. In your role as president of the Nova Scotia Association of Chiefs of Police, your email requested further clarification on facets of the minister's letter delivered January 21st, 2021, respecting a preliminary analysis of policing service delivery across Nova Scotia. The purpose of the internal committee is to conduct a preliminary analysis respecting police service delivery across Nova Scotia, looking at both RCMP, contract policing jurisdictions, as well as those served by municipal police. Authorities are provided to the Minister of Justice under Section 5 and 6 of the Police Act. As the internal committee is just beginning its work, any next steps will be determined after this initial stage is complete. The Department of Justice Internal Committee includes representatives from public safety, finance, legal services, communications, policy and information management, and the Department of Municipal Affairs. Public Safety will chair this committee, and they give the contact. This is a preliminary internal analysis. However, the request to include the Nova Scotia Chiefs of Police Association is noted and will be considered should more comprehensive work be undertaken. This letter was presented at council under correspondence, to which it was made a motion to respond to Minister of Justice Randy Delory. So this is from Commissioner Knight, Chair of the Stellarton Police Commission. This is dated March 25th, 2021. Dear Honorable Delory, at the Stellarton Town Committee of the Whole meeting held on March 22nd, 2021, the matter of the letter that was sent from the Department of Justice Executive Director David McLean to the Nova Scotia Association Chief of Police President Chief Cichetto was discussed. As the chair of the Stellarton Police Commission, Council has asked that a letter of request of clarification be sent to you and your office to reconsider including a member of the municipal policing community and the Nova Scotia Association of Police Governance on the internal committee, which is discussing an analysis of policing services delivery in Nova Scotia. Understanding the transition that the provincial government has experienced at this time, our council and commission was hopeful that an all-inclusive approach would be taken in matters that affect the stakeholders of a review. The Stellarton Town Council and Stellarton Police Commission is respectfully requesting you to reconsider this, as the optics of this study can be quite concerning to all that may or may not be affected, causing morale and other issues. We look forward to hearing from you on this very important matter. Transparency is of the utmost importance for our town, and I would expect no difference from your level of government. And that has also been CC'd to MLAs Pat Dunn, Tim Houston, Gary Burrell, as well as the president of the NSAPG, David Walker.
It was brought up at committee of the whole, and spoke on it, and I still have a concern. Problem is, when something gets done, how try to undo it is a big issue, and we know what happened with our health and our school board and so forth and so on. Once it went down that road, you just couldn't turn it around. And my concerns is they're going to do a review, that's fine. Maybe we need one, maybe we don't. Well, I suppose we should look at it, our services every so many years. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have somebody from the police board sitting on there who has experience in policing, who can answer those difficult questions. Also, the NSAPG, which is the Nova Scotia Police Governance Association, which is kind of the body of these bodies, and we meet, and they also have been dealing with issues where they should be included in on this board. So this is what the letter is in reference to reconsider, because the optics of it doesn't look good, where we have all these individuals sitting on a board where there's no input from our police or the governance board. So that's what the letter is about. Is there any questions or comments?
Oh, I think it's a good letter.
Thank you. I'd like to take the credit for it. I just give our clerk the body of what I wanted to say, and she put it together for me. Well written, thank
It
you.
was a good letter.
Oh, yes, and the letter, we have another letter here, and it's about our dispatch. And it's interesting that we transferred from the commission over and brought it back into our own realm, the dispatch, so that we'd have more control over it. And of course, we get a letter back seldom that we get praise, but I shouldn't say that, because we have been getting a lot of praise lately from our police officers and whatever have you in our system, and it does us proud, all of us, that they're doing such a great job. But Chief, do you want to read that letter?
Sure. This is from the administrator of the Pictou County Automatic Aid, which our dispatch deals with. Hi, Chief. Just a quick email. I wanted to pass on some positive feedback for the dispatcher working today, which was Saturday, March the 20th, day shift. I believe it's Kelsey, maybe. She's doing a fantastic job and has been for some time now. Clear, concise, professional sounding communications without delay. And her I am responding messages are informative with the right information. Her skill and professionalism hasn't gone unnoticed between members of the multiple fire departments. If you could pass that positive feedback on to her, that would be great. Thanks, and have a good weekend. That's from the administrator.
Chief, would you pass it on from the commission, our gratitude for a job well done?
I will.
In the short term that she's been there, and it shows that the decision we made, I guess, it was a good decision, and we're moving in the right direction. Stellarton Police Service Strategic Plan is on the next one, number 6. Who's speaking on that? Before you speak on that, I want to say that I want to comment on how well it went off, the cooperation. There's some good stuff come out of it, and the strategic plan it's for the police department here and where we want to be in the future, and instead of not having a plan, we know where we want to be now. So if you'd like to speak on it, Susan.
Yeah, so strategic planning session took place on March 18th with the members of the Police Commission and Chief and Inspector Pond. So I agree, it was a great session. It was great to have some plans. So the draft is before the commission. We looked at a mission statement, a vision statement, and we talked about some values. and we did our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and which brought us to 3 goals for the Stellarton Police Service. Number 1 being a modern facility. The facility needs desperate upkeep and upgrading. Number 2 was develop police volunteer programs. And number 3 was upgrade and improve technology for a more efficient service. So what I'm asking, if the commission is okay with what was discussed on March 18th and provided in this draft, if they would like to see that approved and go to council.
I think
Comments?
it looks great.
I concur with Nancy. I think it's freshly done.
And I don't disagree either. The one thing that I would stress is this has to be a living document, right? So it's always moving. The goal number 1, the new facility, maybe a little ways off. Maybe we should make every motion towards that we can. But when it comes to plan B or a stop, we need to come up with another goal in the interim until that's finished. True too about the technology. We're closing in on what we're doing there, so that's going to satisfy, I think, one of the goals. So we may need another goal for there. So I'm suggesting that we maybe do a review every 6 months, see where we are, if we need to modify or just make it a living document so that it's always moving forward. Otherwise, yes, it's well done.
It fits into your proactive plan, Donnie. So this is to go forward to the council for their approval. Can I have a motion? to
I'll
send
make
this?
a motion to accept this strategic plan to go forward to the council.
And I second it.
So Commissioner Terrace, second by Commissioner Atkinson, that the strategic plan that we sat and dealt with is to be presented to the council for their final approval. So is there any question? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Motion carried. Thank you very much. It was well done. I think we're actually getting into some of them. But one of the things I would like to say is one of the issues here is with our facility here. Suppose at one time it was overcrowded more than what it is now, but the police department definitely needs an upgrade or improvement. But if we were to retain it here in this building, it would be very, very expensive. So by moving the police out of this facility into their own facility would actually free up a lot of space, and we wouldn't need to make it as a drastic improvement to this building. Basically, accessibility would be the number 1 goal. Outside of that, would save a lot of money. Babe Mason Way. The reason I brought this up, and I spoke to Chief and I spoke to, there's an issue up there, and I've got several people who have brought it to my attention, and the problem is there's people coming down the Babe Mason Way in four-wheel trucks, and they're cutting across the back of the soccer field there, and they're going up down the old Foxbrook Road. The one lady was out walking her dog, and they almost ran over her. They were tearing up there. I don't know if there's ATVs involved in it or not, but I spoke to Chief. I don't know if we can do it. He can maybe speak on it, but there is a gate there, and I don't know if we can move that gate down or close it off, or the only other option would be to get some of the big concrete barriers and put in there and stop it, because I know it was put in there for the use of the soccer, and I don't see anybody going down and parking down that area. It's just becoming a nuisance. The other thing, and I don't know if it's a fact or not, but rumors have it, and the same people have told me, that drug dealers like to gather up their conjugate and in that area. So if you could work with between Susan and yourself and Blaine, come up with some kind of solution to block it off. Because those trucks can go, powerful trucks, I guess they can move across the lot. Is there anything you want to say in the Chief? Okay. Anybody else want to add comment to it? Stop sign on Ford Street. Again, we're getting complaints about people breezing through the stop sign. And you're going to put a bigger one in there, Chief?
Yes, I've ordered 2 oversized stop signs for their, to go
Perhaps-
below the flashing red light.
Yeah, okay. And you know, maybe that's the case, people, I don't know.
Other than a gate, I don't know what else to
Well,
do.
maybe, that's what I was gonna say, maybe the next, we'd have a barrier down like a
Come
railroad
down.
track on every car, you know?
Pass out a few tickets, people catch on pretty quick, I suppose.
Maybe we could have them pay a toll.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, the
that
gate will
would be
open when they pay their toll.
A deterrent.
Get that officer one way.
All right, moving on. Computer upgrade for police vehicle. So Commissioner Taylor, if you'd like to speak on that, and Inspector Pond?
Okay, I'll start off. We've sourced a number of different machines that we thought would do the trick. The downside is that they're very expensive, brand new, so we're looking at the refurbished ones that are every bit as good. We tried to find some tough pads that's made by Panasonic, but they are so new, there's just not many used ones on the market yet. They're kind of just breaking into the tablet side. They have the talkbook computers, but anyway, so we thought we were going to have to look at those, but we can't find any that have a reasonable warranty attached to them. And then Brian Shepard, the owner of LM Computers, was able to source out Zebras are called, and I sent out a link last night to everybody. I don't know if you all got them. It is a tablet. It's a 10.1-inch tablet. It has Intel i5 core processor, means it's very smart, 8 gig of RAM, but the one that I sent out to you was just one that you would find online, a write-up on it, and this one had 256 for a hard drive. We only need 128 because we're using a lot of online stuff, right? It's just a basic operating system. So this will take care, it's a rugged service. It will take care of all what we think we need. We still need to get more information back from the RCMP. And Chris, you were still waiting on the Glasgow to get back. Did they get back yet?
I did. I spoke to the deputy chief yesterday, who put me through to their IT guy, Derek Eisen. Derek hasn't got back to me yet, but basically they explained that your main cost is your first year up front because you're gonna have to buy the modem, the computer, the mount, basically the initial setup, and after that it's just your monthly your service bill. Ryan also mentioned where they've had it now in Glasgow for approximately 8 years. He believes there may even be some surplus, whether it be mounts or whatnot. So he said that when I'm talking to Derek, if they have anything, maybe we could buy it from them rather than buy it new. They started off with one computer just as traffic for a little pilot project, and they don't know how they function without them now because it frees up so much time on their dispatch and other officers when you got multiple things going on. So as far as the setup, he couldn't give me any prices. Again, I'm just waiting on Derek, but High Tech does all their installs, which is who we use, so that's good. We talked about all the different programs with the RCMP would use, and all we need is PROS and CPIC and internet access for GEN, which is the Registry of Motor Vehicle site. So we don't have to worry about any of the other programs. We talked about kids and roads and all their acronyms they use for their programs. But yeah, it's just those three is all they're using. And everything else, there's no extra service charges for any of these programs because we already have them.
Okay. So this will satisfy all the needs as I understand them from what we're going to need. It has built-in GPS, so you know exactly where an officer is when you're talking at any given time. It has Bluetooth, it has USB, it has Windows 10 Pro that comes on the machines. And I talked to Mark Thibault, and he tells me now RCMP are looking to what's it called? A newer version of Windows Enterprise. Captain Kirk, I should have known. So Enterprise is more proprietary as opposed to a Windows home-based, Windows Pro. This is, you're only allowed to put certain things on, so you couldn't put on a music program in the car. It would restrict you from doing anything that was not authorized. It will still work, as I understand it, with the keys, what you use to get into the various programs. I don't know that we're going to need an additional amplifier for the email, because there is a spot for a SIM card right in it, just like I think you guys have the iPads now, and you can get your mail anywhere you go, right? You're through a data plan, same concept. So it's just the cost of the data plan. And because Stellarton's working within Glasgow, Stellarton, and Westville primarily, you're never going to be in a spot where there's no coverage. So there's probably not a need. The unit is going to be right up at the window, same as if you were using your cell phone in the car. It would be the same concept. So I don't see any shortcomings. In particular, these particular ones, instead of, when I sent that out last night, you'll notice the price on there is pretty scary. It was originally $3,961, and they had it on special for $3,400, and we're getting them for around $700. So we got a lot of wiggle room there with additional equipment if we have to, and/or programs. So we should be able to handle both. Brian Shepard has ordered two to come in for us to have a look at. So when it arrives, I'll get a hold of Chris and Mark, and we'll take a quick run down to LM Computers, see if it is what we're looking for, and go from there.
Is there any questions? The thing that impresses me, of course, is the fact in the dispatch, where we got 17 fire departments and 2 police departments running out of our dispatch. And I didn't realize this until Chris pointed out to me, if a fire call comes in while the police is put on hold, so they have to wait. So there is definitely communications is priority one. So the money is allocated for it. You know how much is, where the ceiling is. And whatever you can, if you can get 2 of them and get all the programs in, well and fine. If you want to set one up and buy one and have it, I don't know, whatever you guys feel, it's in your hands anyway. I don't think they need approval from us or anything, do they? No. Everything is good to go, and that's great. Thank you very much for your input and looking into it. That's one of the things in our strategic plan, wasn't it, the computers? Yep. So that we can mark that off our list already.
We didn't buy them yet, so let's wait until we got them working in the car.
Yeah. So you've got 3 years warranty on it.
2.
2 years
That's all
warranty
we
on
can
it.
get on those.
Okay, and what did you say it cost of?
Around $700 a unit. That's with the extended warranty plus your taxes.
Okay, so, yeah, okay.
About $800 a unit in hand.
Okay. We pay taxes on that as a town?
I'm not sure.
We would get the most taxes back.
Would we? Okay, good. Is there any other discussion? Well, I guess that's it for the computer. Our next, is there anybody else that wants to speak on any topic? The floor is open. Is there anything you want to bring up? Okay, our next meeting is May the 6th, 2021, at 2 p.m. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you at that meeting, if not before. We have a motion to adjourn.
Move motion to adjourn?
We're adjourned.